Hello and welcome back to the Pondering Papaya podcast. My name is Sam Cooper and we've got a very special episode for you today as we heard from McLaren's newest driver, Bianca Bustamante. For those of you unaware of Bianca, she is heading to her second season of Formula 1 Academy and is doing so with the full support of McLaren behind her. To find out how pre-season is going, we were invited to a press conference with Bianca, which is what you'll hear now. Just a word of warning, it won't be me asking the questions but instead Bianca's PR rep. But other than that, it should be a fascinating listen.
So despite being in the off season, Bianca has barely been able to catch a break this winter. Right after making her big move to the UK, Bia spent her 19th birthday in January with her team, ART Grand Prix in France, after a week of training and media, followed by a test session for Formula Winter Series, which is the supplementary series she competed in for 3 weekends last month. And in between those race weekends, she also did two 3-day testing sessions in Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, and also recently at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. Actually, just getting back from the UK, Bianca will be heading off again to compete in the first round of F1 Academy at the Jeddah Corniche circuit in Saudi Arabia this weekend. Hi, Bia. First of all, your new hairstyle looks great. How are you feeling today?
Early morning, but I have a flight to catch in 6 hours, so that's perfect. I'm very, very excited. A lot of energy coming into our first F1 Academy 2024 race weekend. I mean, it's crazy to think that we're actually this close, but yeah, I'm very excited.
That's so great. So you're back in the UK now from Spain, right? Did you just get back?
Yeah, I got back 2 days ago. Barely 2 days ago. I mean, the Winter Series campaign, I've learned quite a lot from it. There was a lot of personal growth, so the fact that I'll be bringing that over to Jeddah, I'm really excited to show what I can do as a driver. I mean, for sure, I'll be a completely different person on and off track from last year, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's great that you had a couple days of downtime before you head off to Jeddah this weekend, especially since you just came back from another race weekend, which we can get into later. But speaking of downtime, since moving to the UK in January, what has a typical day-to-day look like for you?
Funnily, I mean, I've moved to UK, but I've practically been here maybe 2 weeks in total. So, and that was just to do laundry or to work to go to McLaren on the other side. So I've barely been home, to be honest. But I'm loving every moment of it. I think London is the type of place that you go to like during that like pivotal time in your life when you're young. You're experiencing new things. You're traveling. You're meeting new people. Like the city is so alive, and I love that. I found a home away from home, and McLaren has really been nothing but family to me. So the fact that I'm living so close to them, and I just get to go there whenever whenever I want somewhere to hang, or I need to train, or I need to be on the sim, and just kind of be connected up to motorsport at the same time, still have a life outside of it and experience new things and new life. So it's quite an experience. I'm loving it.
Great. So other than, being in the UK, were there other places that you spent away with your other teams, perhaps?
I think Paris, I would say, is definitely my second home. I mean, I spent a lot of time there on the sim, training with ART, and it's incredible. Like the fact that I'm actually based here in Europe now and in UK, and I just get to travel so much. I mean, I just spent all of my January and February literally in Spain racing. So the fact that I got to go to every single, well, nearly every single like city in Spain is beautiful, and good food, good people, and still striving towards one goal. So it's very good to be
Right.
surrounded by people that has the same passion as you. So that's one of the things that I love.
Yeah, and you did just get back from Aragon and completed your last race in the Formula Winter Series, which was a chance for you to go head to head with both male and female drivers. Can you tell us a bit how that went?
Um, we came into the winter series with all the mentality to say that, we don't care about results, we don't care about performance, we don't care about speed. And, like you might not have the best of everything, but we want you to strive with what you've got and still perform your best as if you're there to win. And I think that's one of the main things I struggled with last year is that I didn't know how to react when things weren't in my favor, when things weren't perfect, when the car wasn't the fastest, or when I didn't qualify in the front, and then all of a sudden I didn't have any skill set to bounce back and reset and to fight the next race as if I'm there to win. And I think that's just the mental side of motorsport. It's hard to not be put down by all the troubles and all the negative stuff. So we got into the winter series. Things weren't in our favor. We had some technical issues with the car. It was a long battle that I slew through it all. And that's one thing I'm proud of is that until the end I didn't go down. I went down swinging. Yeah, and on the last race, I think we showed somewhat a result that was quite representative of our pace. Yeah, I mean, from P22, we got up to P17, should have been up to P15, but unfortunately, with a contact on the last few laps of the races, that stopped us from moving forward. And finally, we were in a space where I knew where I was and I was familiar with it. And I think that's just what's important. And what I learned the most is just all of it is just all personal, all that personal battles that no one else knows but me and how I, yeah, overcame through it all. So, yeah, really proud of it.
And so this, you're joining the Formula Winter Series was a opportunity given to prepare for before the F1 Academy. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's a lot of things you need to learn about motorsport that isn't always related about being the fastest or being the quickest or this and that. Most of it is really just, you know, like me, and I was actually very fortunate enough to have a mental coach or a sports psychologist with me, working with me throughout this whole process, given to me by McLaren. It's all about flow, like your equilibrium. And the best drivers are the ones that are able to maintain it as if it's no, you don't peak, you don't drop, no matter what the circumstance. And I think that's what I needed to learn in myself. I have to say that most of the times I often acted by my emotions, and sometimes that what drives you forward. That's the light within you. But at the same time, when you're dealing with a lot of difficulties, it's also very easy to lose your head or to act on your emotions and to be mad or to lose sight of what matters. And I think that's just something I needed to work on. I needed to find my equilibrium, I needed to find my flow. And I'm very to say that I found it, because regardless of the results and everything, I still stood proud and I still worked away and I still drove it as if I was there to win. With the help of my team, with McLaren, my engineers, they were really, really amazing. And ART was also there supporting with my engineer. Of course, Jarvis, they gave it their best chance to make sure that I had a good winter campaign. So really, really thankful for that.
Yeah, it's great to hear that, McLaren and ART are offering you a lot of support as a means for you to grow and excel and progress, not only on track, but off track too. But like, other than your opportunity to race in the Formula Winter Series, you did mention briefly your psychologist and also your coach, but what other ways have McLaren and ART given you support ahead of the F1 Academy?
Um, like I think I'm the type of person that feeds off from what's around her. You see motorsport. In the end, you only see the car and the driver on track. You don't really see the team behind it. And I think that I'm the type of person that, that generates power, generates confidence from the people surrounding her. And the fact that I have a team that truly believes that I can be competitive this year and fight in the front. And a team like McLaren who was there to support it, to support me on the sim, support me physically, mentally. I've been at MTC like more times I've been at my home, so my home this year. So I think that says a lot, the fact that how invested they are in just supporting me, supporting my dream, supporting my potential. And it's very rare these days to, meet people that truly believes that you have what it takes to make it. And and then finding that, I found that confidence within myself to still fight forward. And we show that in all of the tests in F1 Academy. We were fastest at Jeddah. We topped a few sessions, and overall we were so strong. And the fact that we're coming into the race week and knowing that we were strong, in the preseason test, and the fact that I was able to work with my team in McLaren and just feel so at home without even trying so hard. We were able to get good results, and I think that's what matters. Like, racing isn't forced; it's just about flow and how you work with a team and how you work on yourself. And I'm ready to show that at Jeddah this weekend.
That's so great. Do you mind telling us a bit about the people in the driver development program who has been by your side so far and how
Yes,
they've
I
been
mean,
helping
there's
you? Yeah.
a lot of people. There really is. Like, I can't even like name all of them with just my two with two hands. There's a lot of people involved in this. It's like that. Like, it's like a project. Like Project Pia, and everyone is like so hands on. And like at one point I felt like, oh gosh, do I really deserve all this support? But that, here I am, and they think I do, and I owe it to myself to believe it as well. But like, with just our core people, of course, there's Emanuele Piro, very 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 insanely talented, smart, and one of the well conversed people I've ever spoken to. He gives so much knowledge. He's like my sensei. He gives me, like that perspective that you need to, as a driver. You need to always have perspective. You need to always have a point of view. And he makes sure that I keep that point of view straight. He keeps me on track, really. And he's rough on me when he needs to be. He puts the hammer down when he has to. And I just needed to learn to accept it. And and then, he's an insanely amazing driver. So driving wise, he's given me a lot of advices that I surely need as a rookie. And there's also Warren Hughes. He's an amazing driver. He's one of the main coaches in McLaren that is involved with in F1 and GD and all that stuff. And he's been tasked to kind of mentor me on track. He's basically with me in all of my testing, in all of my races. He was with me in the winter series. He's with me in F1 Academy, and so he's basically my coach. He's my mentor. He's my main ally on track. Um, Whenever I'm driving bad, he tells me. He makes me aware of it, and of course, when we're driving good, he just pushes me to fine tune all of those technique and all of those driving and all. So I'm very, very thankful for that. And of course, we have Stephanie Carlin, an amazing woman in the sport, very talented and very, very hardworking. She's just in charge with making sure that I am, you know, living my best life and my best career within the team, making sure that I have the best of everything. And even though, sometimes it's very hard to put in a perfect scenario, Carlin, I mean, Steph, she makes sure that I have that best scenario. And of course, I have Daryl Young, my manager. He's still here, thankfully. He hasn't given up on me yet. But he's like he's my best friend. He's my manager. person I trust the most in this sport, in this world, and we've been working, towards this goal, and the fact that we've actually slowly been achieving it, it's incredible. And I have, my whole CBR media team that is also, involved in McLaren, involved in me, involved in all the other different aspect of motorsport. So yeah, I mean, that's just the core people that I'm working with day to day. And yeah, I mean, they've been nothing but great support. I know it's been a rough past 2 months trying to put everything together to prepare, but I'm sure all of it will be paid off by this weekend.
Yeah, it's so, so, so great knowing that you're in good hands, and love to hear that, McLaren and ART are giving you the support you need in so many different ways and beneficial ways this season. Um, you know, Now you've got personal goals that you set for yourself that you mentioned earlier. But other than your personal goals, what is your goal for this year's F1 Academy?
You know what? It's really funny because over the winter series, like I felt like I've already reached like my goal. Like my goal this year was to just come off as a better driver than I was last year. I didn't like how sometimes I reacted last year whenever I lost or whenever I wasn't performing well. I would easily lose my head and I'd lose confidence in myself, and all of a sudden I can go from a race winning driver to barely qualifying within the top 10. And I hated how I was so easily put down like that. Like how little things, like maybe a comment or a thing someone said, that, things that don't even matter, and how easily they affected me. And I hate that I was so vulnerable like that. Like it was so easy to just, yeah, to lose it all. And I wanted to work on that because I shouldn't allow myself to be phased by anything in the sport. Being a woman in the sport is already tough enough itself. I need to be tougher. And I felt like I've, gone through a very tough moment in winter series, but in the hindsight, I've had to grow. I had to force myself to not be phased by anything. Qualifying P32, even though knowing that we were losing 8 kph down straights, and not many people know that, but you gotta see it through, and I did, and I was very proud of how I reacted, of course with the help of my sports psychologist, and I was just really proud, like as a person I grew maybe much more than as a driver. But yeah, I mean, the fact that I'm going into the F1 Academy season knowing that I won't be phased by any bad result. And one negative thing that I really didn't like about myself is that I often link my results to my self-worth. And so when I wasn't getting good results, I felt like it wasn't worth it, or I couldn't find happiness elsewhere, because it was always about racing. It was always about winning. And so going into the season with a completely different mindset, when it's not always going to be about winning, because you can't win all the time. So that means that you can't link your happiness to it. It's good when you win, but when you lose, it's still about finding happiness within yourself. That's what my sports psychologist said. I mean, easier said than done, but I'm working on that. I'm working towards that this year. And I think it's very, very important, as you grow old as well, to not link your happiness to anything, but just to yourself. And that's, a goal I want to continue working towards. Obviously, this year I'm here to win. I'm here to fight for the championship, and I've got every single variable with me in my favor to be able to go in there and perform as best as I can. I've been to Miami, I've been to Singapore, I've raced at Abu Dhabi. I know most of the circuits, and I've got the best team with me to make me the best driver I can be. And it's my job to be the best person I can be. So then the driving side is a lot easier. So that's my goal.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I speak for everyone here when I say we're all excited to see your growth, and we're excited to see you reach your goals this year. Just one more question before we move on to the Q&A. Could you tell us your target for Jeddah? How did your testing go? And are you feeling good before the race this weekend?
I'm feeling very, very good. I love Jeddah. Like it's like my Monza to me, and now I'm kind of scared because like it's taken a very, very close spot next to Monza as my favorite circuit. I mean, I love fast circuits. I love the fact that you're just so close to the wall, you're so close to the limit, you're just sending the car, and you're just like correcting so little, and like those minor corrections that can either send you to a very good lap or into the wall. And I think the fact that you're playing like with those limits, I just love that feeling, and I think that was the main reason why I was so quick at Monza. And the fact that I feel, you know, that type of energy, that type of emotion when I drive at Jeddah, I think it's very positive. You know, we walked away at Jeddah being the fastest driver on track, and you know, and getting a win. So well, I want to work away from that going into this weekend. I mean, we've got a really, really good car. Arity has been working amazingly just to make sure that the car is suited to my driving style, and you know, they're very, very passionate people, and they want it as bad as I do. So that just gives me confidence, and you know, and I'll be racing with F1 this weekend, and you know, I'll have my family with me, you know, McLaren and the Papaya family, and they're so excited for me to get there, really. And I can't wait. I mean, to be racing in front of, you know, like my team, in front of my family, to be racing in front of also Zach, our boss. There's a lot of pressure, but at the same time, when we do well, I know that they're gonna be really, really proud. And yeah, I mean, honestly, for now, I just can't wait. I can't wait to get in the car, really.
So there you have what we are sure you will agree was a fascinating chat with Bianca ahead of the upcoming season. My thanks go to you for listening to this bonus episode, and we'll be back on Thursday for a preview of this weekend's Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. In the meantime, make sure you subscribe to the pod and also follow us on social media at Pondering Papaya.